One.
All right, good morning. It's August 20th. This is the Fire District 21 Board of Commissioners regular meeting. I'll call the meeting to order and we'll start with roll call. I'm Bruce Ansel.
John Crawford.
Greg Anthony.
Tony Melillo.
And Dave Ralston.
Jason Vandermeer.
All right, let's do the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, first order of business is the Volunteer Pension Board meeting. I'll open that meeting, and we have the July 16th minutes. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Motion to approve.
Moved, seconded. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And sorry, I forgot to mention that Commissioner Land from D4 is also here for the record. He's not visually here, but I know he's listening.
Should be here.
There he is. Thank you. And did we vote on that?
Yes.
Thank you. 2025 participation certification, Chief, is.
Yes, that's the, it's a form that we submit to the Board of Volunteer Firefighters for, it verifies their training requirements for their pension credits.
Did we get a
No,
copy?
we don't normally put it in the board packet.
Okay.
No, it's just something that needs to be signed by you.
Is our participation up to speed, or did we lose?
Some individual, I mean, a majority of them, yes, are in the clear.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve me signing that document to confirm the participation of our volunteers.
Correct.
Moved. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And Commissioner Reaper, not.
I haven't heard from him.
Okay, all right, it's unanimous. Any other business for the Volunteer Pension Board?
No, sir.
I will adjourn that meeting and open the regular Board of Commissioners meeting. The first item is public comment. So if you are here for public comment, please stand and state your name and,
Jennifer Fahn, 5416 Goldfinch Way. Sometimes it's really discouraging in this world to try to do things and fail and fail and fail. And we did this. All of us, we did it. We did it. We are heroes. You are heroes.
oh, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it. Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Charmin Burnham. I'm from Birch Bay, central area, not Semiahmoo or so forth. I'm excited. I'm excited we're over the hump. We're moving forward. And the one thing I'd like to mention to Semiahmoo, since you guys are here, what these guys need is a friends group. These stations needs friends of the fire department, where the 501c3s can bring in money for nonprofit, just like the Friends of the Birch Bay Library, the Blaine Library. Same thing holds true for these fire stations. So I encourage you guys as a group to get one started there, and I'm hopefully going to be doing one for Birch Bay, and that way we can continue to work as a team.
Great.
I love it.
Great idea. Thank you.
Wonderful. Yeah, I know, in my past life, we had community support that helped pay for some specialized training and specialized equipment that just wasn't in our ability to budget. And that means a whole lot to the whole community, but also demonstrates to the firefighters the support that's out there and helps them do their job. Great idea, thank you. Anything else? very silent group that was very
We'll point out.
I just have an appreciation for all the education that went out. I think that's what took a lot of the, the no's over to the yeses. They weren't understanding what a levy was, what a levy lid lift was, hadn't really lived, a lot of the people that I spoke to haven't lived in the community through other failures of it. So I just really appreciate that, and I just, Luke and Delia, coming together as a team and bringing us on board and letting us help with that was just a phenomenal experience, so I want to thank them.
I'll say one more. If you have to have a magic decoder ring to figure out what levy lift lid means, that's a problem. So come up with something sexier.
That's a Whatcom County issue.
Yeah. So I'm George Hargenringer. I'm 5537 Night Heron Drive, over with Jennifer and some others, and I'm also driver for the tenders here in the department. I'd like to ask, I'm trying to figure out some thoughts about this. I sent Tony a note, but could consider creating a program to let communities adopt Firehouse. I'm going to take 62 as an example. I know it's going to be a while before we have an opening date, but I think with a little bit of push from some of us, we could get together a group of folks that would be willing to do beautification gardening projects at the station and help make it look like something that it's not right now. I mean, there's enough other stuff going on. Make it a showpiece for the community because it benefits us and it benefits the department. So I'd like to ask, if that get considered as something that the board and the department would be willing to support, and we can figure out how to make it happen, but at least start to get some initial buy-in from folks.
Love it all. Love it all. Like I said, I've sat here 10 years to cricket, so this is locust now. So. All right. Thank you all again. And then we're just going to dive into the rest of our meeting. So if I look through here, there'll be some discussion about levy and planning, but our true planning for what we're going to do is going to come in a later date.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
So if you're expecting some great, how many dollars are we going to spend on your station today? It's probably not going to happen. So I don't want to disappoint you if you're hanging around.
But there will be an update as to what we're doing, what's going on.
They're leaving because of that.
I'm really shy. I don't like it. I'm not used to having people.
You really know how to clear a room.
Thanks for coming.
I forgot to say my name too, Beth Trapton, 9024.
I think we have you signed up. Appreciate it. All right, so our next order of business is the approval of the consent agenda, and all matters of the consent agenda have been distributed to each member of the Board of Commissioners for review or considered routine and will be enacted by one motion of the board with no separate discussion. If a separate discussion is desired, that item may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda by request. So this consent agenda includes the meeting minutes from July 16th, the financial reports, and the vouchers. And I will read those numbers in. The revenue for July was $947,853.33. The majority of that money came from the D4 contract payment. Expenditures for August were $972,737.26. Direct deposit payroll, $498,291.26. Payroll taxes, $121,461.04. Benefits voucher, $273,448.19. Child support voucher, $1,386. Monthly expenditure voucher, $78,150.77. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Anyone need anything pulled out? Any discussions, questions, comments, issues? All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Very much. Commissioner reports. Commissioner Anthony.
Nothing to report from Blaine having to do with Fire District 21.
Okay, well, can I give you a project? And this is important to anyone who lives in the city of Blaine. If there's anyone in the room that is a Blaine resident. One of the concerns that affects the fire district is the city of Blaine's ability to try to establish what's called tax increment financing. And what that is a way that they can take money from us,
Junior taxing
junior
district.
taxing districts in general, and apply it to building their infrastructure. And that can go on for up to 20 years, and it could end up in the millions of dollars taken from the fire department budget. So I get really squirmy when I hear that the city of Blaine has all these cool ways that they're gonna raise money and build infrastructure, and the way they're gonna do it is to take money from public safety, and I think that is criminal, in my opinion. But I would say if there's ears in the room that can monitor that and speak out against how adverse that would be to the fire district and our ability to conduct our business, since we've just finally gotten to a point where we can do things, that would hurt us. So, if you can keep your eye on that, we have met with the city manager and talked about this more than once over the years, and obviously it falls on deaf ears, and maybe if he heard from someone else besides us, he might change his mind.
I might just add, I heard this morning a update on the Drayton Harbor Road.
Mhm.
And they're talking now that most likely any repair of that road won't occur until spring of next year.
That is correct. I have that in my report as well.
Oh.
John?
I have nothing.
I just want to personally say thank you again.
All right.
Matt is connected now.
All right.
Sorry.
That's all right. It is emotional.
It is.
This is huge. We have, Kimberly has worked on grants for us for years, and we haven't had a win there either. So, this is our first win.
Which, that's the other part of what I was going to say too, is since our last meeting, Chief Vanderveen and I have submitted 3 applications. So hopefully one of them or all of them are going to come through. And we had a lot of fun yesterday at the Irene Reither back to school fair with Station 69 crew. It was their first one ever, and they had a great showing, and it was a lot of fun.
Good. All right. Let's see. I attended D4's meeting. Nothing else going on there that needs to be reported. Thank you, Mark Land, for being here today. Last night I attended the Birch Bay Community Advisory Committee, and some of these things that impact the fire district are, as you said, Drayton Harbor. So apparently there's a backlog in pilings, and the pilings were supposed to be here in September. Now they won't be here till November. Well, ironically, November of 21 is when that road washed out, and they don't really want to be driving pilings in November of this year. So it has been moved to March of 2027, and it will be a 10-week hard closure. So plan on that road being closed for 2.5 months. The roundabout at Birch Bay, Linden, and Blaine Road is finally moving forward. They are planning to start construction in 2027, and the best time to do that is in the summer. So it will be between the 4th of July and Labor Day. And that will be a 19-day full closure, both directions. I asked the engineer, the project manager last night, to include us in a way that we can get apparatus through there during that construction, and he felt that that was possible, and he'll include us in the discussions when those final planning stages come through, and also with whoever is awarded the contract will need to know that they have to keep that open so we can get fire apparatus through that intersection. They're also working on the Kickerville, Birch Bay Linden intersection. That's either gonna be turn lanes, although they're now considering a roundabout option for that intersection. Apparently there's been quite a few rear-end accidents, with people stopping on that 50-mile-an-hour road to turn one way or another. But that's probably 2028, 2029 before they do anything with that. So that's all I've got that would pertain to us, and I gave you the contact number for the project manager. So
Already emailed him.
perfect. All right. Chief, your report.
Okay, for July of 2026, just an incident count, Station 63 responded to 175 calls, 69, 133. Station 61 here in Blaine did 116, and Station 12, Britton Loop, responded to 106. Obviously, the levy outcome was kind of a major thing this month, July and August. So there's the final outreach as well as the final results, which definitely came down in our favor, which is certainly we're all pleased to see. I have now gone into planning mode. And as I pointed out to Chief Melillo, I've never done this either because we've never had a win. So it's so I get to learn something new, or we all get to learn something new. But yeah, we've started focusing on the three priorities that we made to this, or the three commitments we made to the citizens, which is the staffing of Station 62, something happening with Station 63, and then apparatus and equipment. So, and we've made incremental progress on all three of those, but I would remind everybody that those are long-term projects. The one that's going to get finished first is Station 62. Of all three of those, that'll be the one we see completion to first. The plan, the hope is that we can start staffing an aid car out of that station at or shortly after the beginning of the year with some overtime. We've put out we currently have 4 firefighter vacancies we've posted for lateral hires, looking for experienced firefighters with a hire date of November 1st. Based on, we budgeted for 2 additional firefighters this year, even though we weren't planning on hiring. So with that money plus the money from the training captain, we've got money to fund those positions. So yeah, we're moving through on that process. And then I've met with Chief Ralston about the Station 63 project. So he's got an update there. And then apparatus, we've begun discussing with Hughes Fire and some others about getting apparatus on a shorter time frame than kind of the industry average, and how we can do that. Station 62, the plumbing repairs are done. They've been inspected. Water and gas is turned back onto the building. So you said, yeah, it's not really complete. I don't consider the drywall complete because there's so much other drywall repair that's got to go in there. But just so you know, Chief Melillo and I have met with the contractor out there, gone through the punch list of what needs to be done to bring it up to speed to have crews there.
My question for that would be, do we have to go out to bid?
We'll see what the individual projects look like. We're doing this a la carte. So we'll see what this looks like when it all comes together.
All right. So we'll be hiring an electrician, we'll be hiring maybe a plumber, we'll be hiring
Correct.
a sheetrock person, we'll be hiring.
Yep. Individual contractors.
To put a plant system.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Okay.
Now, whether any of those individual items tick over, you know, several, just so you know, we are getting, we do want to have an option A and an option B with another apparatus bay on that building, is now the time to do that. We're looking at the siding. Quite honestly, we're looking at the roof. Roof is about 15 years old, but since we're doing this, is now the time to do that. And do we look at a metal roof versus, so there's some things we need to work out. Just for fun, we were talking about exterior colors and we decided that Ms. Alderstein would be the perfect person to pick the exterior color at Station 62. So, when the time comes. Station, you know, we just have all those other projects at other stations that are you know, they're still in progress. So we did a number of community events in July. I'd like to give a shout out to the crews. July was a busy month just based on call volumes and other stuff going on, but the tender group did the July 4th parade here in Blaine. Members of the department and family members were out at the July 5th cleanup, did the National Night Out, and rumor has it Station 61 lost in a water balloon fight to the kids at Blaine Pirate Days. So, admin staff did go down. I think it was educational. We went to North County Regional Fire Authority, which is in the north end of Snohomish County. They're kind of the next biggest department than us. But we wanted to go outside the county and just see what their admin's doing, how they handle all the things, what their org chart looks like, get an in-depth about what they're doing to stay engaged with their community because they're passing levies in the 60, 70 percentile range. And it was a very interesting meeting. And I think that's definitely an organization we're going to stay in contact with about kind of how they do things, why they do things. Their chief and their admin were, we didn't get to meet with the individual admin people, but they were very open to questions and kind of how do you do this and why do you do this? So that was good. Also want to give a shout out to the Station 65 crew, the tender group there. Chief Malilo and I had a reason to be in that station, and you could really tell the pride and ownership that crew puts into that station. It looks fantastic. And I just wanted to give them a shout out. They're doing a great job. The tender group obviously is more active in the summer. We have had a number of fires recently. And they also respond with District 7. So there's been a couple days where they've responded to multiple fires in a day. So yeah, the tender group is a big help. As far as other items on the Chief's report, I didn't write it, but would like to ask you to stop snatching thoughts from my head. I have extreme concerns about the TIF and the city's probable plan to use that. That was when I filled out for the Washington State Fire Chiefs. Our goals with the legislature this year, that was my number one request, was that we continue to refine the rules around the TIF and how that can affect public safety. Although, just so the citizens know, it's just not just the fire departments, it's any junior taxing authority. So libraries, Parks and Rec, they can capture, a municipality can capture the levy funds from any junior taxing district in their area, in their boundaries. So it's not just fire departments. That's obviously our main concern, but it will have an effect on the entire community and things that make a community a community. And what it does is it just freezes your levy rate, and they basically can skim off the top for, like Commissioner Hansel said, 20 years for infrastructure types, which is important. It is very important, but maybe that's something that they should go out to the voters for and ask, approve of the levy lid lift or renewal or whatever you want to call it. But that's an important piece for the citizens to fund, as opposed to taking from other taxing authorities. So that is my report.
Questions for the chief? Our fire marshal's not here, but our junior fire marshal is.
I did ask Deputy Fire Marshal Nielsen if they had anything to report. He said, no, it's been a pretty quiet month. I think this is probably vacation month for those, city staff as well. And although I have been watching the library, housing, that discussion back and forth in the city of Blaine.
The city of Blaine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did pass on that on September 16th, the Birch Bay Community Advisory Committee is going to try to engage the community on the council's proposed fireworks ordinance. Ironically, the author of that ordinance will not be attending our meeting because she's busy. But we hope to have a representative from the fire department at that, as well as, since it's county, hopefully get somebody from the county fire marshal's office there to answer specific questions about how much of this stuff is actually legal that they're shooting off. Anyway, and the community, that'll be advertised in the Northern Light, and so if you're interested in listening to what's happening with potential fireworks in Birch Bay, September 16th at 6 p.m. is our meeting. So. Local 106.
Me again.
Oh, you again.
Oh, me again. Thank you. Sorry we had to leave. Short report. We're doing a blood drive out at Station 63 on the 24th of September. That'll be open to the public and our members. And then we passed a levy, so we're all pretty excited. I don't know if you guys heard. But yeah, thanks to the public, number one, all you that are sitting here. We definitely could not have done without you guys, so thank you, thank you. The chief and all his staff and the commissioners, it was a full team effort this time, and it showed because we passed it. So we're very excited to see what comes next. And that's all I have.
And you didn't do it at 99 cents.
Yes.
And thanks to David for being here and pushing us to ask for what we really needed.
All the way to the $1.20.
That's right. All right. Unfinished business. All right, levy lid lift outcome, we probably beat that one to death, but is there anything else, Chief, that you want to cover on that topic?
Just that we'll hit it in new business, but post levy action items, and I had sent you all an email regarding meeting dates for like a planning session. So
Yes, like I said, we've not done this before, so we're all gonna have our little Christmas wish list. All right, Station 63. Last time we met, we said we are tabling this until we find out what's happening with the levy. The levy has now passed, and we need to move forward on making something happening there. There's a couple things in my mind that have to happen, and that's negotiating with the church property a temporary housing area for the crews, because 62 is going to be occupied by someone else. And then choosing a plan of what we're going to do. We had three options: kind of do a modular thing, kind of do a partial tear down thing, and do a total tear down thing, which may get us into county permitting and long delays if we were to do a total. So, Chief Ralston, do you have an update for us?
Just other than what you've captured, that's basically what I was going to say. My recommendation to the chief too is, now that we have a lid lift pass, again, the three options out there, is to maybe have a recommitment from the board in a work session to talk about the different avenues that procurement options could be. And I suggested to Chief that maybe we have a work session with our attorney that discusses those opportunities that are out there, whether it's a design build, you can have a contract with a contractor that sets up, there's different options that are out there. And I think it's not going to take a lot of time, but I want the board to be fully aware of opportunities that are out there. So the planning process that we go through is going to be done correctly and right and for the future, for 30, 40 years. And so it's a great opportunity to do it. I know that Chief has talked about that, and that was my recommendation to him. And then obviously the contract to set up with the church is real important, you mentioned, and we can get working on that right away. But I think initially, let's have maybe some discussion from our attorney, maybe where we can go, the options, have open discussions, and then we can set the plan from there.
When or how can we find out if we were to tear that thing down, what the permitting process would be versus a remodel?
I don't think that's going to take any real time to do. It probably depends on the footprint that we're going to do. If it's in the same size footprint, probably not a lot of a conditional use permit, but if it's going to be expanded, we probably would then have to probably apply for that. That's some of the language out there, but that's going before the hearing examiner and any other updating laws that are in play for surfaces, areas, and all that. So I am currently working with the county on another project, a fire station project, and so I could find that out just intermittently and get some report back to the group, and hopefully if we can get a work session schedule, I can provide that information too. And I'm hoping that we can meet sooner than later in a work session to have this discussion to get our plan in place as we go forward.
Can we roll that into our other work session that
Yes.
we're talking about? That would be part of that.
Yes, Chief Ralston and I discussed having not Matt Davis, Richard Davis come and speak to you about exactly here's how this works. Here's the, do we do design build? Do you architecture or architectural contractor, the different modes of building. So Richard is committed that he would come in person and do that. So spend an hour or two discussing with you guys, let you get all your questions out about how does this work in the state of Washington? How do we do this build? How do we do a project of this size legally correct the first time?
My biggest concern is not legal, but county.
Right, I understand.
It's something that really would depend on the county, and I'll try to get updated with anything in play. I'm currently working with the county on that, and I'll specifically ask them that if there's some upfront concerns right now as we start to move forward. But the attorney's not going to know that. He's going to give us the procedures of how to go about it. But yeah,
County is going to be the roadblock for, you need more pervious surface, you need this, you need that, we need to build a 10,000 acre retention pond, or we gotta, all these things that, is it above the tsunami plain? Is it,
there's a lot that we're
is there
dealing with.
archaeological
Right.
issues up there? This is like, it goes on and on and on and on.
Gotta get plans first.
Well, I know, but if we said, we're tearing this down and building something, what's the square footage now on that?
That's,
9,000?
No.
Yeah.
Is it with the shop?
9,000 square feet, I believe.
And if we abandon the shop, that gives us more.
Gives us more building
station
space.
Space, but same footprint.
Correct.
And there's a ton of room back there where the shop is.
There is, yeah.
So I'm hoping we can stay on the same footprint, but then add a lot more amenities to the fire station, to the food room, etc. And then quarters for what, 7?
8.
Just an observation. There's kind of two things happening here. And I want to make sure that we keep them separate so one doesn't inhibit the other. We all know the station's going to get replaced. We don't know if it's baby bear, mama bear, or papa bear. Regardless of those decisions, there's no doubt the crew's got to have someplace to go. So we don't have to make the church issue dependent on us deciding what size bear we're buying. So got to just make sure the horse stays in front of the cart on figuring out where the crew's going. So I don't want to lose sight. I know you get anxious when I talk, so go ahead.
I have already uncoupled those two projects. Okay, and Chief Ralston and I sat down and had a discussion about those projects are, like I said, uncoupled. Getting people out of Station 63 and into something cleaner, temporary, where we can be for 36 months. I mean, that's when you talk about permits and building and all these things, that's what we're looking at. We've already uncoupled those projects, so.
Because theoretically, you get in a position where the crews could be living at the church and the apparatus still could be in the existing apparatus space because you're not ready to get going.
Yep.
My observations are done.
Thank you, sir.
So, I mean, obviously, you're gonna move forward on that. I mean, the board obviously is in agreement that we go full speed ahead on rehousing the crews at 63.
Correct.
One more observation.
Yes, sir.
Before I get to a point of deciding what side station, I'll have to understand how much it's gonna cost a year. Did we budget all that money in the levy lift? So I'm married to a wife that always, bigger is always better, but every once in a while I gotta pay for it. So before I can make that decision, I'm gonna have to really understand the finance and how this works.
Understood. And at a high level, we did plan to fund a debt service of up to $1 million a year for that station, but that's just at a really high level, so.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Matt, are you out there?
I am.
Welcome. Do you have any comments? You're eerily quiet.
I apologize for my tardiness. I was in my garage cleaning out a hydrostatic leak and preparing to have our floor turn up, and I lost track of time. It's not an excuse, but I apologize. My question would be related to apparatus as well, because I know that we have a shortage of that. And in line with Craig's question about budgeting, we have this need for apparatus in conjunction with the department building a new station. So I'm just trying to make sure that in line with the budgeting for the station, we're also planning on the apparatus as well, and including that when we're looking at the station.
Yes, sir. That budget piece was already also taken care of in the levy. There's funds to service a debt on, we looked at worst case scenario, replacing every piece of apparatus, and that can be afforded in the levy.
Are we going to start moving forward on some of those pieces of equipment that we are in dire need of?
Yes, sir. We already have in a way.
Excellent. That's the main question I had.
Thank you. Sorry about your garage.
Yeah, we can talk offline about that. Thank you.
Okay, anything else on Chief?
Just if I could be so bold, since I'm feeling kind of good right now, I just want to go on the record as the fire chief and advocate for a complete replacement of Station 63. I think it's the healthiest, cleanest option for our firefighters. The board drives a decision, but just know that that's going to be my purview is that the best we can do. We did get some good health news on one of our retirees this week, and that was great. He's been declared cancer-free, but that nagging thing is always there. And I know you don't like it when I tie the two together, but I'm going to be that. I feel like I can do that today. So I just want the board to know that that's going to be my.
I think we're all in favor of that, but as.
But there are a number.
We have to pay for it.
Commissioner Anthony, I can see your stare. I appreciate that, and I may be youthful and putting the cart before the horse, but I just felt like it.
Believe me, as a former fire chief, I've given the trust me speech many times myself, and I still appreciate hearing it from you.
Okay, thank you. You can tune me up afterwards. Yeah.
All right. Anything else under unfinished business or any other comments on 63? So we're gonna work on both housing.
Yep.
And then we're gonna secondarily start getting some answers to. I mean, there's always the option of leaving that one corner post and calling it a remodel, right? I've seen that happen. All right, move on to new business. We have a uniform surplus, resolution 2026-11, pretty straightforward. One of our members went to another department. They want to buy the Class A uniform. So is there a motion for resolution 2026-11?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Next resolution 2026-12 is cancellation of a warrant that was apparently billed twice, and so we don't want to pay that twice. Is there a motion to cancel the warrant for 1,016? There's too many points in here. Is it $1,016.87?
Correct.
Okay, there's a couple more zeros back
Yeah.
there. Moved, is there a second? Moved and seconded, any discussion about canceling the warrant? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, it's unanimous. Chief, you have asked to purchase an 8 car for our future Station 62.
Correct. I've asked, requesting authorization to purchase an 8 car. This would actually go into the 2027 budget for payment, but I wanted to seek prior authorization. This would be a copycat of the other rigs we've currently got on order. The price has gone up, obviously, like everything does. And the budgeted amount for 2027 would be $350,000, $350,520.45. It's a 4-wheel drive diesel rig similar to what the current 869 is, and it would be delivered June of next year.
And this one meets our weight requirements.
Height and weight standards, and yes, sir. Yep.
We're not buying
we are not buying, and
vehicle.
no, I see Chief Melillo vehemently shaking his head. The best thing I can give you is that we have had one of these rigs in service for about a little over a year with almost no problems, knock on wood. Its weight is correct. Its drivability is excellent. I believe we get about the least amount of patient complaints about the ride in the back, which no ride in an 8 car is good, but.
All right.
Our Yelp reviews are going to be great.
So you need a motion from the board to authorize the purchase of a 8 unit now, or at least what?
That I will not ask for the funding until the budget, but I would like an advisory vote basically that says go ahead and place this order.
If I
think there's some people in this room that would like us to buy that 8 car.
If I can add to it, one of the things that I think you're going to hear kind of common as we roll forward with a lot of the to-dos that you're talking about is that The folks that are looking at the specs for the different vehicles that we're talking about in the levy plan, we're purposely trying to find build slots that the vendor is creating for themselves. So we're not buying off the shelf things and getting random apparatus. We're trying to get it to a consistent blueprint for each of the vehicles. But the opportunities will present themselves when those build slots come up. And this is one of the build slots that I've asked Chief to jump on, so that we're not getting a custom rig in 2+ years. We're getting a rig that is a mirror copy of what we have in 8 months. So it'll happen a lot faster. And I'm just giving you that context because it's going to be repeated likely with any sort of ladder truck or quint type discussion, any fire truck discussion, any tender type discussion. We're going to settle on something that meets our needs, that matches with the build spec, that we're going to jump in on those vendor slots so that we can kind of expedite this a little bit.
Last one we built was a demo unit, so is this something that we're gonna do again as another?
This is exactly the same as the demo units. Yep.
So will there be a cut in cost?
What's that?
Will there be a cut in cost?
There already is a cut in cost. This is with the cut in cost.
There's a cut in cost, but there's also the cut in the build
The
time.
build time.
So if we were to order, even if we were to order the exact same thing, we go to the end of the line. What we're committing to do is saying, hey, we're going to buy this one with these adjustments that they're going to build anyways. They just want to retain it for up to 90 days to show it off, and then we take delivery of it. So I don't like playing that game personally. I think that they've created a need for us to do that with supply and demand, but putting that aside, it is also not a direct dollars thing, but we're not waiting 2 years for an ambulance to be built.
Another observation. This is a very different time. It's been 20 years. So ramping up to the fire department of the future, which probably is 2028, there's going to come up costs that the board's got to consider saying, well, we're going to take funds out of our reserve. We're going to have to borrow from our existing reserves and funds of the future next year to pay additional overtime, to make equipment purchases, to get temporary quarters set up, to fund bond initiatives. There must be a lot of upfront costs that the department and the commissioners got to be understanding that we got to be ready to appropriate funds to make this transition over the next 18 months. So we just got to be ready to hear these requests from the department and move forward to the department of the future as quick as we can.
Correct. I'm thankful that we weren't at $0 when we passed this, because that would push that back even further. I'm grateful that we have the reserve funds available to fund. Really, we're going to fund the Department of the Future out of reserves for the first 6 months of next year, right? Because we won't actually see any dollars from this levy until May of next year. So it's reserves that are going to get us through to that.
I do have one more question. I'm sorry. And I've lost track of what agenda item we're on. So
Aid card.
just treat me like my age for a second. You must have 7 or 8 vacant positions before you now need 12 or 13 more.
Yes.
So you got 21 positions you need to fill over the next 18 months. Where do you get the training slots? I saw the announcement for laterals. So hopefully you bait the hook well on that. But how are you doing with figuring out how you're going to get these folks through training?
Chief Malila's been on vacation this last week, so I'm going to blame this on him a little bit. But we did find out that North Bend no longer allows anybody to do John Doe seats in the academy. We have to have names, birth dates. So it's going to require, we're going to be competing with everybody else for slots at the State Fire Academy, which is going to put pressure on us to find an alternative way. I'll fill you in on my lunch with Chief Hewitt yesterday about where we talked a little bit about academies and training, but you're right. We are, as things are changing, those training slots are becoming much less. They're not as easy to get into. So we may be forced to come up with unique ways to get our people trained to our standards, which we're not going to change. That is something I've made really clear. So we're not going to lower the standards, but we are going to have to find unique ways to get people trained. And that was one of the pieces. It was one of the reasons we went to go visit that other fire department is they are currently running an academy. They run the academy for Snohomish County. And, is there a way for us to get in their good graces and be able to take 4 or 5 slots to be able to train folks up to the standards that we require? So.
What was their answer to that?
We'll talk.
They're amicable to it. The challenge right now for them is just a matter of when we step into it. They're running a 50-person academy here pretty soon, and that's max capacity. But as part of their phased plan and building out their training center, they're putting in another 80-person classroom so that they can run concurrent academies offset from each other. So they're going to increase their capacity. So they're amicable to doing it. It's the same type of thing that we're doing when we bring their students up to the medic program. They have students coming in and learn how to be medics. We can send folks down there. The particulars we don't have worked out, but they're definitely amicable to doing it, and not just with us. Ultimately, though, I will say, I think we have 3 irons in the fire to try to address this issue. Obviously, one of them is North Bend. The other one is trying to go to North Snohomish. The third one is I really think that the best position to be in is to be able to run our own in-county career academy, because as the county agencies get bigger, everybody's looking at the same thing. And eventually, I think the stronger position would be is if, whether it's through consortium or through a partnership or something, that we may have to deal with it on our own. I don't know exactly what that looks like, but I'm chasing down all 3 opportunities kind of at the same time.
I think it's obvious that North Bend isn't going to be able to handle the volume of training that is coming. I mean, with everybody with 20, 30, 40 vacancies, they are not going to be able to train. They were at their max years ago, I believe. So I think a Whatcom County consortium would be really awesome. All right, so.
Did either of the 2 fire departments levies pass?
Glacier,
the smaller district to the east did pass. Fire District 1, which is our neighbor to the east, did not pass.
What's Fire District 1's levy rate now?
I don't remember.
So, they were asking for, so they were asking for they were going to $1.48. I want to say it's about 40 cents. So they were around just a little over $1. They were asking for about a 41-cent increase, I think.
Yes, with a 6% limit factor.
I don't even think Simiamu could bring that one up.
That's a tough one. All right, so we're going to go back to our agenda, which was the 8-car purchase. And not that we are looking for a dollar amount approval today, but that we are, as a board, okay with the chief moving forward with that.
Absolutely. Do you need a motion or just want head shakes?
If the board is in agreement, Matt, are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
All right, so chief, go forth and let's get something. All right, so the last item under new business is the post levy action items. We've talked about a bunch of them already. I think the biggest thing right now is to try to solidify some dates. I think some were sent out. I know, John, you've got school bus stuff. And And Jenny, which dates did, did I give you?
You had said September, for the September 2, 8, or 9. And then October, you said 9 and 10 were good.
October 9 and 10?
We want to do it.
I said something about October? That's the Friday, Saturday?
Well, those were just dates that you threw out. No. Oh, I can't see the
I
calendar.
don't remember doing any October dates. But anyway, we wanted to do this sooner than later, so we're hoping September. So calendar-wise, we would prefer to do it during the week, so our administrative staff doesn't have to come in on weekends. So how do 2, 8, or 9 work for anyone else on the board? And
Wide
we're
open.
talking probably half day, right? 4 hours?
Wide open.
So
You're
cross
saying
that.
two, Bruce, September 2nd, September 8th or 9th?
Correct.
The 2nd, I can put in for a day off that day only. The 8th and 9th, I will not be in the state.
Does September 2 work for the rest of the board? Mr. Anthony, you said yes.
Yeah.
Sean, you're a maybe. And we're talking 9 to 1.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, September 2nd, it is.
And that will be a public meeting if anybody wants to attend. These are all public meetings that we're talking about, so.
I'll just check with are we talking about trying to have Richard Davis for that one then too?
Yes.
Okay,
If possible.
could you pick another second date in case he's not available, just as a backup?
Yeah, 8th or 9th for the rest of us. I know Matt can't do it, but that's.
Just as a backup when I get a hold of
Well, I
Richard.
think I think we'll do the 2nd regardless.
Okay, good
And
enough.
If
Okay.
he can't make it, then we can have another, I mean, this is gonna take more than one meeting.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
But if he can't make it, does the 8th work for everyone else if we had to do another meeting?
Works for me. I just don't want to be in a position that you're telling the attorney it's the 2nd or the 8th.
No, I'm gonna do the 2nd to start.
Correct.
And what was the time again on the 2nd?
9.
9 o'clock
Mhm.
here?
Yeah.
Okay. And the September 8th, as a possibility would be 9 o'clock here too? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think we just need to really put our list up and prioritize. We've already sort of got our 3 main areas of focus, but at some point, we've got to start prepping for the annual budget.
Mhm.
And this will roll into those discussions, so. And when are we gonna know about the radio?
They're supposed to make decisions by the end of September.
Alright. 'Cause we're buying those things. All right, anything else on the post-levy action items? Chief, do you have any burning issues that you'd like us to contemplate?
One concept, and this is good for both commissioners and the public to consider. Chief and I have been, and the office staff have been beating up the idea of how do we have a kind of a status board or here's the plan, here's what we said we were going to do, and here's the status of all of the things, because there's a lot of moving parts. The considerations that I have is that selfishly, I would like to continue to drive attendance so that people are here to be informed. But at the same time, I know that that doesn't work for everybody. So something on a website or a newsletter that shows, here's what we said we were going to do in 2027. Here's the status of those things. And then also be able to provide for the commissioners to advocate to your constituents or be able to talk to your constituents about the status of the projects. I don't have it totally formed in mind, but something like a schedule as we come together, like this is where we expect to be. Just consideration.
Sounds good. I know that. Go ahead, Matt.
I was going to ask if there was any consideration for any type of CAG or community engagement group, maybe that can engage with the stakeholders and make that part of this, I guess, revitalization of the fire department. Might be a perfect time to do that.
Right. Gee, is there anyone in there?
I wonder who you could talk to.
I think the message here is we want people to have confidence in us. We've asked them to raise money for us, and it's our responsibility now to spend that money judiciously, but also to deliver on the promises that and or expectations that they have. And that's not just the community, but it's our employees and everyone. So.
And Bruce,
go ahead.
That's where a community engagement group would be truly beneficial, is you bring in specific community members. It's not just this open group for anybody. It's a specific members that represent various stakeholders and partners in our fire district to come in regularly and be part of this group, to be provided with information, to solicit feedback. It's not an advisory committee, but it is a group that would basically be a direct conduit of information from us to the community. And again, I think this would be a good time to have a group like that for transparency to the public.
All right, we will put that on our post-study action item agenda.
One more thing, as a commissioner, what would be helpful for me is a list of 8 or 9 or 10. We got to hire employees. Number one, we got to buy equipment. There's a whole bunch. These are the tasks. And on the right-hand side, the box goes status. Okay, we hired 4. And then a month later, you could update it. Not overwrite, but update. Well, we hired 4 more. Or we ordered engines, or we're waiting for specs. So I would have 2 or 3 pieces of paper, not paper, but be able to look at a document and go, well, where are we doing on apparatus? Well, we need 8 cars. Well, this is a status. The board said, go ahead and we'll remember your name next year when it comes to paying that bill. Done. Now, that isn't something, the level that the community needs to see. Maybe they do, but that's not something I need to have on the website, but I need to not lose track of issues. And it give me good reason to open up my email more than the day before the board.
All right, anything else? Correspondence in your packet. We had a ton of stuff, a ton of letters to the editor, a ton of articles. So people were pushing information out on all the venues that we had available to us, and we certainly appreciate all of that. Next board meeting is September 17th. Is everyone available for that? Non-available. That's okay. Matt, are you good for the 17th?
Yep.
And you guys are, Commissioner Anthony, okay? Agenda items for next meeting, we're gonna learn about no man's land.
An update.
Plan.
Plan.
All right. No man's land, for those of you who don't know, is an area in a fire district that got omitted from the county's boundary for a fire district. Unattached to any.
Middle of the district, but unattached to any, they don't pay taxes for anything. It was discovered, the error was probably made, it was either made in the 40s or the 60s. They don't know when it was made. But it was discovered about 18 months ago. And I've actually spoken to a number of them, about 20 households that live in there. And I've spoken to several households because they wanted to know why they didn't get to vote for the levy.
Because you're not in a fire district.
Which then led to who's coming. And I said, we're still coming, but yeah.
The disappointing part of this for me is the county says it's our fault. Although they're the ones that established it. So that's another frustration I have with our friends at Whatcom.
Evidently, there is a free lunch.
All right, so we'll be getting an update, and that requires a petition and boundary review and all that kind of crap, so, pardon me. It's just frustrating, these things that should be so simple. GEMT program.
Just an update on
Yeah.
where we're at. And
I mean, that's just sort of an ongoing saga.
submitted, yep, and then we're also going through a GEMT audit at the same time.
Right, and my understanding is our district audit got pushed back 6 months.
We were scheduled to be audited by the state this fall, and we've asked to push that back 6 months to starting February of next year.
Gives us time to get this right.
They offered to give us a whole year, but we asked for just a 6-month break because just submitting the GEMT and the documentation for the audit has created enough chaos in the office because we have to establish, are we talking about the GEMT program or the GEMT audit before we start submitting documents and pulling documents? So then to throw the state audit on top of that, we thought, we're getting crosswise here. So that's why we asked. Actually, just so you know, I asked Commissioner Ansel first and he gave me a thumbs up. So we asked the auditor and they said yes. So.
Just from a workload standpoint, this seemed to make a lot of sense. And the fact that we've had super clean audits every 2 years since I've been here, I didn't feel like we were in need of burdening the administrative staff with another audit on top of another audit. So,
Commissioner Ansel, just can I go back to, I guess my fire chief's report? I overlooked, but I wanted to give credit. We did receive a grant award from State Department of Labor and Industries for just over $24,000 for some musculoskeletal injury prevention equipment. So basically workout equipment, as well as some hose rolling devices, some lazy Susans for the engines as far as for loading LDH, and some additional fire wipes, which is for getting soot off firefighters' necks and chest and stuff like that post-fire. That work was done by Battalion Chief Reel, who's sitting here, and Kelly Freeman. This is the second year in a row that they've applied for, and we've been awarded that grant. So just wanted to.
So we have gotten a grant.
we have to adhere to some pretty rigid reporting and structuring, but yes, we are getting some grants. So
nice. All right. Thank you for doing that. All right. Other agenda items for next meeting. I guess we still need to keep 63 on there. The progress we're making with the rehousing. I guess at that point, we might have, some report back on the post-levy action items.
Yes.
So put that on there. Anyone else, anything on the agenda for next meeting? All right. We are going to go into executive session. Executive session is not open to the general public. I don't expect that there will be any further business after executive session, but I expect this executive session to take up to an hour. So, for those of you who stayed for our whole meeting, thank you very much. And we appreciate you being here. So to start with, it'll be the board and the two chiefs. All right, reconvene after executive session. There's no further business before the board. I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
Seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thanks for coming. Documents to sign. Matt, are you coming in to sign?
Yeah, Jenny, would it be okay if I get there in about 25 minutes?
Yep.
Sure.
Yes, I will be
Yes,
here.
Jason said yes.
Okay, I will see you shortly. Thank you.
Jenny has to have lunch.
I have no